It was supposed to be a short hike, a weekend adventure to experience nature's wonders. 13-year-old Ethan had been eagerly anticipating the trip to the dense jungle near his home, a place he had only heard of in stories. With his backpack, a water bottle, and a sense of invincibility, he set off with his uncle, who was an experienced hiker. But things quickly took a dark turn when a sudden, intense storm hit, forcing them to take shelter. The rain didn't let up for hours, and when it finally stopped, Ethan's uncle was nowhere to be found. Disoriented and afraid, Ethan realized he had wandered off in the chaos. Now, in the middle of the thick jungle, Ethan was utterly lost. His uncle's calls for help had faded long ago, and all Ethan could hear was the distant rumble of thunder. Alone, with no compass, no map, and no food, Ethan was left with only his wits to survive. The jungle, unlike the one in the brochures, was alive with sounds, a chorus of insects, animals, and the rustling of leaves. Ethan had no choice but to keep walking, hoping to find a way out. But the more he moved, the deeper he seemed to get into the wilderness. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the temperature dropped, and the night became oppressive. Ethan's fear grew as darkness enveloped him. With no firewood, Ethan had to use his limited survival knowledge to create a makeshift shelter from branches and leaves. The chill of the night crept into his bones, and every sound seemed amplified in the silence. He clutched his water bottle tightly, rationing it. He knew the importance of staying calm, but the jungle seemed to be closing in around him, and the thought of never seeing home again gnawed at his mind. Morning brought little relief. Ethan's stomach growled with hunger, a reminder of how little food he had left. He had a few granola bars, but those wouldn't last long. He needed to find food, and fast. But the jungle wasn't kind to the unprepared. Ethan ventured deeper into the thick undergrowth, searching for anything edible. He spotted some fruit hanging from a vine, but after carefully testing it, he realized it was poisonous. He had no choice but to move forward. Then, he stumbled upon a stream, fresh water. The sight of the stream filled him with hope, but it also brought its own dangers. While following the stream in search of a safer route, Ethan's foot landed on something soft and warm. Before he could react, a snake shot out from the underbrush, its fangs bared. Frozen in place, Ethan remembered his father's warning: if you see a snake, stay still and slowly back away. The snake was fast, striking within seconds. Ethan scrambled to get away, his heart pounding in his chest. He barely managed to escape its reach. The snake's venomous eyes followed him, and his body trembled from the close call. That night, as he lay awake, the encounter replayed in his mind over and over again. He realized that surviving the jungle wasn't just about strength, it was about using every ounce of knowledge and intuition. Days passed, and Ethan's chances of finding his uncle grew slimmer by the hour. The dense foliage made it impossible to spot any landmarks, and the trails he tried to follow led to nowhere. He felt his hope waning as he realized that even if he wasn't lost, he was hopelessly trapped in an unending labyrinth of trees. It was during one of these aimless wanderings that he stumbled upon an old, abandoned campsite. The remnants of a fire pit and some broken camping gear were all that was left of whoever had been there. Ethan's mind raced. Could this be the site where others had ventured before? Was there anyone else nearby? But before he could investigate further, he noticed movement in the shadows. His heart skipped a beat. The shadows he had seen were no illusion. He had unknowingly wandered into the territory of a jaguar. Ethan had heard stories of these cats, but seeing one in person was a different matter entirely. The predator, its eyes glowing in the twilight, was watching him from a distance, stalking silently through the underbrush. Ethan knew he had to keep moving, but every step seemed to be watched. The air felt heavy, and the jungle was eerily still. The jaguar wasn't chasing him, it was waiting for the right moment to strike. As Ethan moved cautiously, he could feel the predator's presence closing in on him, like a whisper in the trees. Ethan's struggle to stay alert grew more difficult with each passing day. Exhaustion and hunger drained him, but he kept moving, hoping to find a way out. But fate had other plans. While trying to climb a steep hill, his foot slipped, sending him tumbling down into a ravine. Pain shot through his leg, and he screamed in agony as he landed at the bottom. The fall left him immobilized, unable to walk properly. His only option was to crawl. He had no choice but to rest there for a while and attempt to heal. His body was covered in bruises and cuts, and the loneliness felt unbearable. With nothing but his thoughts to keep him company, he realized how much he had taken for granted before getting lost. The fear of death had become all-consuming, but his will to live was stronger. Just as Ethan managed to limp back to the stream, a sudden storm broke out once more. The rain, heavier than before, turned the already treacherous jungle into an impassable morass. Flash floods swept through the ravine, carrying debris and turning his small shelter into a muddy disaster. He was forced to flee, his leg aching, and the water rising around him. The jungle had a way of reminding Ethan how small and fragile he was. The storm pushed him to the edge, making him question whether he could ever make it back. But in the midst of the chaos, a glimmer of hope appeared. He saw a distant light, a small, faint light that seemed too far to be real. Could it be another survivor? Or was it a trick of the storm? Regardless, Ethan knew he had no choice but to head towards it. The light turned out to be a campfire, and Ethan, exhausted and nearly delirious, staggered towards it. It wasn't a mirage. There, by the fire, sat a group of local villagers who had been searching for him. They had heard of a lost boy and had come to find him, knowing the jungle well and using traditional methods to track him down. They fed him, tended to his wounds, and offered him the comfort of human presence after days of isolation. For the first time in what felt like forever, Ethan felt safe. The villagers explained that they had seen his uncle a day before, but he was still lost. Together, they would try to find him. Ethan's return to civilization was a bittersweet experience. He was overjoyed to reunite with his family, but the memories of the jungle would stay with him forever. They had managed to find his uncle, who had been injured but alive, and they all returned home together. Ethan's journey through the jungle had tested every ounce of his resolve and resourcefulness. He had faced dangers beyond his imagination, wild animals, treacherous terrain, and the weight of his own fears. But through it all, he learned that survival wasn't just about brute strength. It was about resilience, hope, and the will to push forward, no matter the odds. He had made it back alive, but the lessons from the wild would shape him forever. For more exciting and thrilling stories, make sure to subscribe, like and comment.